Pack is back, cause I'm mass destruction. Guess who's here? The bad boys of wrestling. Testing competition when the
It's
war
November
is
7th, 2018, and you are on the Podzilla 1985 network, tuned in to Pro Wrestling Unscripted. I am your host, Shannon Young. With me tonight, no Asa Gray, as his real-life job has made him very tired, and we gave him the night off. Well-deserved. Instead, I've got the Big D, Dalton fucking Anthony.
Yo! Fuckface.
Say it now that Asa's not here.
That's going to be we just used our ones because I don't want to, he will hate us.
And, I was going to say, motherfucking Allie A-Bear.
Well, yeah, you used her one.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to use it right now, to which I'll yell at Shannon and make him bleep one.
No, I haven't got my money yet.
Spoken like a true
hooker.
Wow.
This has been a great night.
That wasn't what I was going to say.
So happy I'm here.
Now I feel bad.
Asa will be back next week, we hope, because it's he may not believe it, but it's surprisingly weird without him.
It is.
Like, he always says it doesn't matter that no one tunes in to hear him or watch him on CCW Live, but it's not true.
But they do.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
not true at all. Everyone tunes in to hear Asa and see Asa, and I really don't know what's going on with am I just talking so low that it's not registering as high? Because I got myself turned up so high.
No, you feel like
I feel like I'm talking at a normal whatever, but like I'm still lower, and Dalton is always high, which is great because they just passed that law. So you don't have to worry about that
My
anymore.
grandma threw shade at me today about that.
Over the weeds?
Yeah. I guess she thinks I'm a pothead. I don't
She
know.
sent that deer after you?
Yeah. Oh, man. F that deer. I used my one already, and now I'm sad.
Well, did you take Ace's?
Ace is not here.
Yeah, but he gets one.
That's true.
And then also Zane Laney gets one.
Zane gets one?
Yeah, Zane always gets one.
Oh, I didn't know that rule.
All right, let's talk about wrestling. We're going to start off by talking about AJ Styles. AJ Styles, congratulations, become the 8th wrestler to hold the WWE Championship for 365 days consecutively. I do not know who the other 7 people are. Is Punk one of them?
Punk is definitely one of them.
Hogan probably.
Hogan definitely. If they're counting, I don't know, like if 8th includes the like era before, but San Martino
for sure.
Lesnar,
yeah, that's a good one.
Uh,
I'd like to know the list out officially because I think we've really named most of them. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
about to say, yeah, keep talking about that. I mean, it's a really cool achievement. I was thinking about it recently because I was watching the Jericho Evil match, and just like crossover appeal of like he's kind of done the reverse AJ, but everybody knew Chris Jericho like was gonna kill it in New Japan. Whereas like in WWE, whenever he first came in, we were all talking about it. Like he lost that WrestleMania match to Jericho. And I remember talking like on this show, you said like, well, they've officially ruined AJ Styles.
Yeah, no, I was wrong. I thought that WWE was going to really bury him after the Jericho thing, and especially then with Roman Reigns. Even though they had great matches, I thought, well, this is the tip top of what AJ Styles is going to accomplish.
I mean, he beat Cena on a pay-per-view clean before.
He did, but I never felt like they were going to strap the rocket to him, brother.
Yeah,
and then they did.
It's one of those things like, and I know if Ace was here, he would say how much he hates the brand split, and we will get into that. I feel like,
yeah,
how that is done for AJ, because if AJ, like if there hadn't been a SmackDown and Raw champion, that would have made it a lot harder for AJ Styles to have that accomplishment. I feel like he would have had the belt for sure.
Yeah,
because you can't deny certain talents, and he's one of those. He's a one in a generation kind of wrestler. And they need to strike while the iron's hot because the fans are in absolute love with him still.
So I've got a list here, and I don't know if this is consecutive or if it's just all together. It may be consecutive because the list is of AJ Styles actually just surpassed Hogan. Well, they said he was 8th, right?
Yeah,
8th wrestler hold. Yeah, this can't be the right list then because Hogan was 9th at 364 days. So, yeah, I think this is a wrong list. But I bet it's the same people because it's Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, John Cena, CM Punk, Pedro Morales, Bruno Sammartino, Hogan again, Bob Backlund, and then Bruno Sammartino again. And that sounds like that's probably the right list.
I'm on it right now.
Okay. I'm also on it. We're both on it.
Okay, 14 longest reigns of all time, and I'll just cut out.
Yeah, but see, it's saying longest reigns, and I don't know if that's the same as consecutive reigns.
Oh, Layfield had it for sure. All right, give me a second. I'm actually getting close to it now. Oh my god.
But just the fact that you would put AJ Styles' name in the same place as Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Bob Backlund, guys like that is just a real testament to now whether or not you think that the business today is the same as the business back then. And they do seem to trade the title off way more now than they did back then. But it's still a great accomplishment for AJ Styles, a guy who was a TNA guy, who was was he a Ring of Honor guy?
After TNA. Well, no, and before TNA too.
So this was a guy that was an indie darling. He was a TNA original, and that he could go to WWE and succeed so much, I think just shows you how good AJ Styles is.
All right, so Macho Man.
Oh, yeah.
Cena. CM Punk.
Can't see, Straight Edge. I was going to do it.
Bob Backlund.
Crazy ass
Pedro
Bob Backlund.
Morales.
That's who you should have voted for, by the way. If you didn't write in Bob Backlund or Dexter Roswell in any of your election stuff, which, by the way, I did.
Bruno Sammartino.
I did write in Dexter Roswell. If Dexter is listening, I really tried to get you to be somebody. I don't remember who it was, but I wrote your name in. I also wrote in Parker Hendricks.
Hulk Hogan and Bruno Sammartino. So Sammartino was on the list twice. Hogan was on the list once. Bob Backlund was on the list twice. Savage and Pedro Morales and AJ Styles and Cena. Because it was funny because I saw the first Hogan reign and it was 364 days. That was like number 10.
Yeah, I think that's the one that I just saw too. I don't know if Asa. So Asa did write up the notes for us. God bless him. And I don't know if he put the songs. I don't know if it happened when he saw. But speaking of legendary wrestlers, it did come out today that Jose Lothario had passed away. Now that has not been confirmed yet. If you look, even WWE says reportedly. So they haven't confirmed it, but all signs point to that Jose Lothario has passed away. And if you don't remember Jose Lothario, which I know a lot of people may not be familiar with him, he trained Shawn Michaels, and he was at WrestleMania when Shawn Michaels beat Bret Hart in the Iron Man match. Huge build up with Jose Lothario there, and that was just one of the greatest moments of wrestling history.
Because if you watch the hype videos for those, you saw Jose and Shawn Michaels doing like these intense training things.
Yeah,
and you see Bret Hart just getting stretched out by his dad. Bret Hart hated it. He was like, Shawn Michaels gets to be in this high-tech thing, and I'm getting beat up in a basement because they were at the dungeon.
A dungeon.
Yeah, the dungeon.
Did you ever hear the old legend that says that when Shawn Michaels won the title, he told Jose Lothario, "Get the fuck out of my ring"?
Yeah, I have heard that. Because there's a certain wrestler that if anytime they win a belt, they will find the referee and do that.
And I hope that's not true. I really do, because that was a great moment. But Shawn Michaels in that era? Oh, man. Like, he was every bit the politician Hulk Hogan was, except he was also a dick on camera. Hogan was just a dick off camera to get what he wanted.
No.
But again, congratulations to AJ Styles, brother.
Yeah.
All right, PWI, not to be confused with PWU. That's what you're listening to now, stupid. They just released their women's 100, and who's number one?
Rousey.
Ronda Rousey. That's right.
Firsthand, it wouldn't have been Nia Jax.
It'll never be Nia Jax because I don't like her. I don't like her. I saw someone talking about Raw, and they were talking about the Ember Moon Nia Jax match.
Yeah.
And they said, I will never like Nia Jax. She just, after all this time, she still seems lazy, confused, like she really doesn't know what she's doing. And the more I thought about it, the more I agree with him. Every Nia Jax, it just feels like she's never evolved in any way. She's still smiling. She's still doing the same Nia Jax things. And I'm done with her. Teaming her up with Tamina will not change my mind.
Lazy?
Well, he said lazy. I might not agree with that part.
Okay, I was about to say, I don't think she's lazy at all.
She's not lazy, but she is going for that Big Show record.
Oh, of turns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her entire, the ramp is basically a catwalk for her. And she does her little turn on it.
Does her little turn on the catwalk?
On the catwalk.
On the catwalk?
On the catwalk.
She does her little turn on the catwalk?
She's too sexy for her pleather.
I love Nia Jax. That's one that you just can't,
I'm not a fan.
I don't like the way they flip.
Book her ever?
Well, no, because, WrestleMania was cool.
Was that where she beat Bliss?
Alexa Bliss?
Yeah.
Just shit whipped her around the ring?
Well, she just won the goddamn Battle Royal at Evolution.
Oh, God, she did. I forgot.
She won the Battle Royal Evolution, gave this speech about, this really great speech about women and empowerment and her and stuff like that. The next week was a bad guy again. Jesus Christ, give us a break.
They don't know.
By the way, This is going to be a really profanity-fueled episode of PW. Asa's not here to contain us.
And we were talking about things that make us angry.
And none of us are in a great mood. Allie's apparently having a bad night. I don't know where she's getting that from.
Probably me.
Yeah.
I apologize.
You've given lots of women bad nights. Whoa. Anyway, it's Ronda Rousey. And
Which the PWI, like, in fairness to the PWI...
that's kayfabe, right?
It's half and half, pretty much.
Because this is the one we argued about with Nikki Bella years ago.
Yeah. Because it's one of those, like, why would you give it to Nikki Bella whenever you had the 4 horsewomen of NXT?
And I argued that because it is
It is a
character.
kayfabe list. Yeah.
That,
If you put it in the fact that they do a lot of it in kayfabe,
then Ronda Rousey should absolutely be number one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she won the title in, her second match?
Third or fourth.
Third, I believe, because she did the tag match. She did one with Bliss.
Well, no, she did one with Nia Jax.
Yes,
Bliss interrupted.
and then she won it after that.
Or no. Was it Summer? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Third or fourth.
Third or fourth match. She won the title. And she's definitely the face of women's wrestling in WWE.
Yeah.
More so over Becky, which is a shame. Because Becky's face is so much more pleasant and Irish.
Not even that.
It's definitely that.
We'll
All of
get there.
her is more pleasant and Irish.
We'll get there. It's fine.
But
Maybe. Yeah.
I
think so.
I'm trying to remember who it was. It may have been Kurt Angle that said that. I want to say it was Angle, but I might be wrong. That Rousey will be more known in the end, more known for winning the women's title than winning the UFC women's title. You see that happening? Do you think Rousey is a long-term investment in WWE?
Just a long-term investment, but I think Angle's wrong.
You think she'll be more remembered for a UFC career?
Yeah.
What do you think, Allie?
I don't know. I think that's hard to say because she really took off with her UFC career. And I don't know. I think that really depends on which following is bigger.
Dalton, that's a question for you. Which following is bigger, WWE or UFC?
WWE. By a landslide.
Yeah, but she also spent a lot of time in UFC.
That's what I'm getting
Yeah.
at. And the thing of it is like, and this isn't a shot at Ronda Rousey, this is just a fact. She was not the first ever WWE Women's Champion. She wasn't even the first WWE Raw Women's Champion. She was the first ever UFC Women's Champion.
And not a shot at wrestling, but you also have to remember that WWE is scripted. So literally they can put whoever they want. And I'm not saying she hasn't earned it. Please don't get me wrong. Or that she doesn't, she doesn't have a right to the title. But WWE, they could, theoretically, if they wanted to put the title on, I don't know, who's a terrible wrestler? Me?
Are they going to put the women's belt on you?
If they put the women's belt on Alicia Fox tomorrow, they could.
Yeah.
They could present Alicia Fox as the greatest women's champion of all time if they wanted to. Whereas in UFC, the fact that she had the title of like best fighter in the world, she earned. She earned through hard work, training, and she had to fight to win. So I think there is a difference in legacies between the two.
Well, yeah, and it's one of those like in 30, 40 years, whenever a child looks up the ESPN Sports Almanac of 2010 on their iPad 57,
you're acting like it's not going to be just jacked directly into their brain.
yeah, Ronda Rousey's name will be on that list of UFC champions. That'll be in an ESPN and that's not a shot at WWE, but even though I think that like WWE is bigger than UFC, the sports as a whole in the world is bigger. ESPN is a bigger corporation.
The sport community looks down on wrestling. They always have, and they always will.
I don't agree with that. I mean, it's two different things, but it's one of those that like she will forever be the first ever UFC, I want to say bantamweight women's champion.
And then
Cody, correct me in the morning if I'm wrong.
And then that same kid sees related searches, women in wrestling, strong women in wrestling, and then sees China and clicks China, and then it says one night in China, and he clicks that, and now that kid is sexually confused.
And he's just
if it's a woman, why is it so big down there? Because it looks like a penis.
God! I was going to do the Triple H joke. Now Allie's disgusted anymore. And
Allie doesn't even know what we're talking about.
I'm hearing things.
And she's thinking stuff.
You don't even know where I was going to go with it.
I was there. Shut up.
Her clitoris. First time that word has ever been uttered on PWU.
Ace is going to be so pissed.
Asa can no longer say that he's not welcome on this show. We are literally ruining Podzilla just because he's not here. Speaking of No.
No, I want to hear the segue.
I was gonna say, speaking of pussies, Triple H.
Oh
No!
my god.
And
What has happened to this show?
It's his fault.
That is a Steve Austin quote. That is Steve Austin. When he left, he did an interview when he came back and said, "When I left, Triple H was like the biggest pussy in the in wrestling, and when I came back, he was like the baddest ass." That is maybe not a direct quote. I'm paraphrasing.
Did he use that word?
I think he used that word. Look up Triple H, that word, Steve Austin, and then Google search it with your safe filter off. Tell me what you find while we move on. Half the audience, PW is a lot like politics. Half the audience is laughing their ass off. The other half are Republicans and are now
tuning out,
offended. Yeah. So, no, I'm kidding.
You think half?
I love the
goodness.
Republicans.
Oh my
I love them. All right, Triple H undergoes successful pec surgery. That was a nasty injury he had at Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel, yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, the Saudis paid him $90 billion, so he literally just got it fixed up that day, and he'll be back next week.
That's not how
true.
a torn pec works.
They say he's officially out of WrestleMania.
There's no way he's making it back there.
So think about this for a second. Like,
that payday was bigger than WrestleMania, and it was worth it.
well, not only that, but in all seriousness, now the jokes are gone. If I could be serious for a moment, that's a Lance Storm quote.
Jeez, all right.
This WrestleMania is not going to have Triple H or Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
Two of the biggest, most polarizing figures in WWE, like two guys that they did not, a lot of the fans did not want near the card because they're tired of that particular act, will not be at WrestleMania, and that blows my mind. If we could just get Lesnar out, imagine what we could do. Unfortunately, that will not happen. Lesnar just signed a new deal that will keep him through WrestleMania. So I hope you're ready for another 4 or 5 months of Lesnar as champion.
Yeah.
You don't sound excited.
I was talking about it recently. Lesnar could do so much more in the ring. I get that he doesn't have to.
Yeah, it's that Hogan mentality, brother.
Yeah, because he's a legitimately great athlete.
Hogan?
Used to be.
He actually wasn't too bad.
About to say it's the same. I will say the same thing about Lesnar that I will say about Hogan. I watched their Japan matches, and it bums me out.
Well, even his WWE stuff when he came back was really good. It was when Suplex City started that I feel like he had his hook. Doesn't need to do anything else now.
Yeah, brother.
Cody Rhodes and Hangman Page officially announced that they are no longer members of the Bullet Club. And Asa has in a very long parentheses, maybe the Elite is officially becoming its own thing, or is this just an elaborate being the Elite thing I'm behind on?
No.
It makes me feel like he's here. I miss him. I miss the little guy so much.
So does Allie.
Yes.
We all do.
Yeah.
The Elite is their official name now. None of them are part of the Bullet Club anymore.
Yeah.
So Dalton, who is in the Bullet Club now officially?
Bone Soldier, the Tongans, Fale, and Switchblade, Jay White. And then you have, and I might be missing somebody. The Elite, you have,
Skrull.
You have Bucks, Marty, Cody, Paige, Kenny, maybe Chase Owens, and
Paige.
I said Paige.
Did you say Paige?
If I didn't, I meant to.
What about Ibushi?
I think Ibushi's not. I think Ibushi's part of the Elite.
Isn't he part of the Golden Elite though?
Yeah, I'm not counting that though. He might be. It's weird, man.
It's so confusing.
Remember the whole NWO Wolfpack thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's NWO Hollywood, there's NWO Wolfpack, there's NWO, there's the
2000.
LWO.
Yeah, the LWO.
There's the NWO Silver and Black, which I think was 2000.
Yeah.
It got stupid. There's Pinnacle A, Pinnacle Zebra, there's Pinnacle Hyper Edition. Yeah, okay. Lost them on the Pinnacle joke. Yeah, I was doing so well too. The Elite. Oh shit! No, that's part of what he said before. NXT and 205 Live. Evolve announces a ongoing relationship with NXT and 205 Live, and Fabian Eichner is champ, and the Street Profits are tag champs. And we know that they've been working with WWE. This isn't the first time they've worked together, is it?
No, they've been doing stuff for a while. Evolve, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Evolve. They announced the match that's going to happen real soon.
So the Street Profits are already their tag champ?
Yeah.
Did they win a tournament or something, or were they named tag champs?
No, they won. They won the belts.
They won the belts, okay. What's the match that they announced?
Cassius Ohno versus Shane Strickland.
That sounds like a match that is right up your alley, no pun intended.
I look to see where it's going to be at.
Oh, you thinking about going?
I can't.
Why? What day is it?
I'm wrestling that day, I'm pretty sure. It's this weekend.
Oh, is it this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. That'd be a great match, though.
Oh, it's going to be insane. They both wrestle like they're that hard-hitting style that I'm just such a fan of.
Where can you see Evolve at?
I think you can fight, maybe. I'm sure it's streaming somewhere. Like, there's a way to go on Evolve's a website that I don't have off the top of my head and check and see where you can order it, because I think they do iPay-per-views.
Fight TV sounds right. Asa was not sure about this one, if we talked about it already. If not, we'll talk about it again because it's very interesting. Fox wants to make changes to SmackDown, make it more of a sports show than a comedy show, and are pushing for Daniel Cormier to be a commentator, which I thought Daniel Cormier was going to be an on-screen wrestler like Ronda Rousey did, but if they're just pushing for him to be an announcer, that would still be really good. I'm fine with that change because I think wrestling comedy is so hit or miss with me. Like, there was some stuff that legitimately make me laugh, but there's other stuff, most stuff that is just cringeworthy. And that's not just the comedy, that's the acting in general. Mm-hmm. Wrestlers have never been accused of being great actors. Now, there are some moments that have great acting in them, and some of them do well as actors. Roddy Piper was a great actor. Mm-hmm. You know, Hogan was in films.
Uh-huh. Oh, Suburban Commando was my jam as a child. Don't give me that.
Classic. Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, no, that, like, I love
Santa
that.
with muscles.
All right, you're missing me a little bit.
Legitimately, I watched Thunder in Paradise every week. I really did.
What was the one where the guy knew the movie was going to be horrible, so he threw his dog in the lake? Was that Suburban Commando?
No, it's not. That's not. I don't think it is.
I'm pretty sure it is.
No, because Hogan rode a motorcycle in that, and Suburban Commando, he was an alien, so he definitely would not have rode a motorcycle.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, it was probably Santa with muscles. Or one of the other terrible Hulk Hogan movies that he did.
Well, that
Three
one
Ninjas
was...
Kick Back, and Mega Mountain or whatever. He was in that.
I will say that dude foreshadowed it. He knew that movie was going to be shit, so he decided he didn't need his dog to see it.
That's crazy. That's another
Just
legend.
No, that's not a legend. That happened.
No, I'm just saying that's a legend. It's legendary.
I can pull the video up right now of that dude murdering his dog.
Tell me the top 3 performances by a wrestler in film. And then I'll correct you.
The Rock in all of them. Wait a minute, The Rock in 2 of his movies, and then They'll Live, the fight between Keith David and Roddy Piper.
I'll accept. I was going to specifically, but we'll just accept The Rock as the third one. Definitely Roddy Piper and They Live. I agree. Yeah. And then number 1 is Hulk Hogan in Gremlins 2.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
When he's sitting is the Grimsters ready for the Hulkster? Oh. Loved it so much. But yeah, if Fox makes it more of a sports show, I have wanted wrestling to go back to its like sports roots for so long, and that is not where the business is going. I mean, the business is going more towards indie wrestling
which is more sport.
Well, not all the time. Not when they're wrestling invisible people or blow up dolls or 10-year-olds.
I'm happy that you've summed up Kenny Omega
and Joey Janela,
who also PWI. #1 wrestler of the year this year.
Well, he's an incredible wrestler. He's an incredible talent. He gets you emotionally invested, which is great. But they also wrestle children and wrestle blow-up dolls and stuff like that. But I'm saying if they're moving it toward the sports side of things, wrestling is not high entertainment. It's not highbrow entertainment. You will never make the front page of ESPN by having your top guy wrestle the Invisible Man. It'll never happen. Now, I'm not saying that's right, because it is right that they never do that, but it will never happen. Now, if you have it more as a sport, possibly. Because wrestling, it is a sport. It's not a sport. It's entertainment. Oh, god damn, WWE. Now you've got my head burned. What is it? What is wrestling? What is wrestling to you? Is it a sport or is it entertainment? And if you say it's sports entertainment, I will flip the table for the record.
I mean, depending on what you're watching, like, it's entertainment no matter what. But it's very athletic entertainment.
It's extremely athletic.
Yeah, like...
And here's how I know it's athletic. You and Trendle, both of you guys, Trindle is very athletic.
Yeah.
He's in great shape. He's very athletic. You are not in the worst shape
I
in the
am
world.
not in shape. I would what you would call out of shape.
After your match with Austin and after his match that he did with Espy, both of you guys, him more so, surprisingly, was blown up. He came backstage like he was about to die. And like, you think it's so easy to go out there and just throw some punches and fake stuff, but like, it's incredible what you guys do and how painful it must be. So yeah, it ain't easy. It is definitely athletic. Now you may think, well, what about guys like Cheeks in TNA?
Oh.
Who came out with Brown Eye Girl? Well,
Jesus.
there's a reason that he did like 2 moves and he was never seen again. So
Yeah. No, it's and that's why like whenever I made that comment earlier about ESPN versus WWE, it's 2 completely different things. So putting them on the same pedestal is not fair. I understand the want for Fox for it to be a wrestling show instead of a sport, like instead of an entertainment show. I understand that. Fortunately for them, they got SmackDown, which is more rooted in that anyway. Yeah. I mean, I don't blame them for it. I think it's an interesting call, mainly because do you then change your roster? Because should you see a character like Aiden English in a quote-unquote sports wrestling or a more sport-oriented wrestling show?
I think the athletes can definitely have personalities, and that's something that UFC has even tried to adopt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't have characters per se.
Yeah, but to say, like, do you... Like, in SmackDown, you'd have to get rid of a couple people, in my opinion. You would have to get rid of English.
I think you could keep English. I think you could if you just tweak them. You know what I mean?
If you tweak them, then you lose the...
English.
You lose what the core of that character. How many people on SmackDown that you're just like, what's their character? Like, they're an athlete.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
AJ Styles,
Whereas, like,
Samoa Joe. Yeah.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
The Miz has one, but it still kind of like works in that aspect.
Yeah, because he's more of a Hollywood action star who fights. He's Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
He's Johnny Cage. But he's not Reptile.
But it's one of those, like, you don't want to go far left where, like, would you book Hornswoggle on that?
No. Because he's going to be in CCW.
That, too. I said Hornswoggle, not Swoggle.
Oh, my bad. I like Little Bastard better.
Oh, God, they did used to call him
Little
that.
Bastard. I think an important
I do
question
have a very
is...
important question to ask at the end of the show that we're going to talk about really at the end.
On air?
On air, yeah.
Okay. I think an important question to ask now is, can you run 2 different wrestling, what are they called? Like brands, and have them be completely different from each other?
Yeah.
Like, can WWE run SmackDown as a serious sports show, but then have Raw be what they do now? And
You
then,
sure can.
And then can you interact with them believably? You know
Yes,
what I
you
mean?
can.
You think that's possible?
More than, yeah. That's what they were doing whenever they first did the bland, blah, 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 blah.
The bland split?
Yeah,
I
well,
mean, bland split? God damn.
Whenever they first did it, what was SmackDown? It was the land of opportunity. It's where the wrestlers got to wrestle.
Yeah.
Whereas Raw was the flagship show. That's where, like, but you get what I'm saying. Like, they've already tried it. But it's one of those that they can try it again. I think it'll be better because they're going to be just completely. It's going to have to be 2 completely different groups doing it.
Yeah,
different
it's
agents,
different writers and everything.
which they're already doing. But it's one of those, like, they're just going to have to tweak the writers. I don't like the fact that a couple writers might have to suffer because of it, but
Unless they can adapt to the show.
more than likely.
But I mean,
yeah.
like, can you have what is the most sports like wrestling promotion in the world right now?
NXT.
NXT? You think so?
No, I take that back. No, somewhere in the UK.
He broke.
But I say because it's hard.
He
Because like
just broke.
Because like even Ring of,
Dalton.exe just shut down.
yeah, even like Ring of Honor has like Cheeseburger. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Cheeseburger. I think he's an amazing wrestler.
Oh,
But
you're making me so hungry.
like even even CCW, we had Blaster.
Blaster.
Like you'll always have that character. We had Sexy Sarge. Like New Japan is all over the place with their gimmicks. Don't get me wrong, even like their most ridiculous gimmick, the man who makes it rain money.
Okada?
Yeah. Like that's the Rainmaker. Like that's a goofy gimmick in my opinion, but that was their champion for the longest time. Wrestling is one of those things. It needs to have characters. I don't think you can do an entire show with just I'm a good wrestler. Well, I'm a good wrestler.
Is that called Glory Pro?
No, Glory Pro has character. I don't need that right now, Shannon.
I'm sorry, I'm just saying.
But like, I don't think you actually. Now that I say it, I'm on your side. I don't think you can. Because
Really?
how many people can you have that are good wrestlers? Because it's one of those that if that's how you're portraying it, and somebody goes on a losing streak, that person has effectively become unimportant if you're doing it like an actual sports show.
Right, because you can only lose so many times before you're down on the rankings. And
like...
Plus, will anyone ever accept wrestling as a real sport? I know that's a question that's been asked through ever, but especially now, because in the 80s you could kind of get away with it because
nobody knew. There
was still that curtain that people didn't know about. Now there's no curtain anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that wrestling is scripted. So can you present wrestling as a real sport anymore, like viably? Will anyone take it seriously? Not only will they take it seriously, but will they maybe even treat it like theater, where even though they know it's scripted, they still get in on the act of it's real because they respect the performers? Or is it going to be just straight up wrestling as it is now, and it's going to fail horribly?
It's I don't think it's going to fail on Fox. I just don't think they're going to get... I think they're going to get what they're asking for, but really soon, like within a year of it happening, I don't think they're going to want what they asked for. Or they're going to be like, you know what?
We made a mistake.
Do WWE.
Well,
that's what we're paying you to do. Just do WWE.
Yeah, because I think the ratings could even suffer from it, depending on who's watching.
It's one of those that, like, also you have to think about how you set up a card. If you just have 5 matches, I'm going to say 5 matches, I'm being generous. 5 matches on a 2-hour show at WWE, maybe you get up to 7, 8. If they're all just good wrestler against good wrestler, that crowd's going to burn out so fast.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have no emotional attachment because you don't have characters.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how good a babyface is against sympathy. If they've seen it 4 times before, just different wrestlers, it's not going to have that push. Like,
because they'll never have that investment emotionally like they would in UFC, where the like, even though most people that watch wrestling don't know who's going to win, they know that it's predetermined.
Yeah.
Whereas if you watch UFC, you don't know. Like, anybody could win depending on who's up that night. You'll never get that emotional investment in wrestling that you get unless they. If you change wrestling now,
you cannot get
30
that.
years from now, maybe
you can't get that. It's super important that you say you cannot get that emotional investment if there's not characters.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because, like,
the character's what sells it.
Yeah. The most emotional I've ever gotten at a wrestling show recently that wasn't All In was WrestleMania 30. And
Was that was Brian, right?
that was Brian. That was Undertaker losing the streak. Like, that card from top to bottom had me hooked the entire time, and I cared about the matches.
Right.
Well,
I mean, and look at,
and if you look back at like WrestleMania 30, how many characters did we have on that? We had Bray Wyatt, we had John Cena, we had Daniel Bryan, we had The Shield, we had Taker, we had Lesnar, we had like
Blue Tista.
No, that wasn't Blue Tista.
It wasn't a gimmick either. He just
Blue Tista was the Extreme Rules or Battlegrounds, one of the two.
You could also look at, like, whenever a UFC fighter and this is going to sound mean, and I don't mean it to, but when a UFC fighter like passes away or a boxer passes away, I was a big fan of Hector Camacho, and Hector Camacho passed away, and I mean a big fan. Me and my dad watched him box for years. You know, when he passed away, I kind of went, "Oh wow, that sucks." He was a great boxer. Now compare that to the emotional tear when Eddie Guerrero passed away or when Owen Hart passed away. You know, like I felt obliterated. I cried.
My high school graduation being ruined because Macho Man died that morning.
Yeah, it's stuff like that.
Why would they play Pomp and Circumstance that night? Somebody had to have
theme
knew.
Music.
Well, yeah, but at my high school graduation, like, I didn't want to hear that.
That was your theme music.
Yeah, I was.
You had Pomp and Circumstance. All
and
right.
Tears.
Before we get to talking about Raw, SmackDown, and Evolution and all of that cool stuff, I do want to talk about Crown Jewel for just a second.
All right,
cool. And you're going to say, do we have to?
There's like 2 things I want to talk about.
The first thing I want to talk about is Hulk Hogan came back to WWE officially.
Which, I mean, smart.
So here's the problem I have with that is that...
You have a problem with it?
I do. Like, one of... I have a problem with bringing Hogan over there to do that. I don't know why. I think I have a bigger problem with the fact that WWE basically tried to sneak him under the radar and go, let's take him somewhere where it's less controversial somehow.
And that's why I said smart.
It was smart.
Because you know what happened when the music played?
The crowd went nuts.
Yeah.
They would have went nuts anywhere, though. I guarantee you. You put that same Hogan entrance.
Have him come out in Chicago and see what happens.
Anyone right now, the nostalgia. It's nostalgia only. Now, he might get booed when he starts talking, but the first time that Real American hits, crowd's going to go nuts anywhere.
It wasn't Real American?
I'm assuming
I watched the entire crowd.
Or it may have been Real Saudi Arabia, and they may have remixed it for him. I don't know.
I wasn't trying to be like making that a political statement. I was legit asking because I was watching Crown Jewel on mute.
Well, you could have just turned the TV off instead of watching it. There people online
Didn't watch it on my TV.
I saw one review that immediately jumped on Hogan and said, like, oh yeah, well, this is already a shit show with shitty people. Might as well just bring another piece of shit there. Like,
It wasn't a shit show with shitty people.
he was really saying that he was comparing Hulk Hogan to people that murder people that kill protesters. And whether you like Hulk Hogan or not, that is a bad fucking comparison. That's like when people say Obama was Hitler and stuff like that. Like, Hogan said some shitty things 10 years ago at this point that he's still paying for now.
Yeah.
To compare him to some of these monsters that are over there is incredibly unfair.
And even in fairness, like, I'm not a big fan of him as a
Person?
wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
A person. It's one of those things that it's kind of hard to tell because like you just compared him to a monster to a maybe reformed racist.
Right.
Where he might be not as racist or might not be racist at all. Or maybe he was never racist to begin with and just had some stupid stuff. But
that's the camp I'm in. He was getting some tang from his friend's wife. He was just trying
on top of the world.
He was just
like,
to
why don't I
impress
just
throw some N-words around.
Yeah. That's how that works. But I don't think that's a fair comparison. As Crown Jewel, and I don't want to talk about Crown Jewel a whole lot because there's an actual important show that happened.
Yeah.
And that needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
Crown Jewel was okay. It was a house show that had a match that, and this is what I thought you were going to have the issue with Hogan, is Saudi Arabia paid WWE a large lump sum of money. And don't get me wrong, that is an ignorant amount of money they threw at
Billions. Billions.
But they threw a large lump sum out over the course of a year and a half. Whereas you've been in your main market, United States and Canada, have been throwing millions and millions and millions of dollars over the course of, what are we at now, 40 years?
Yeah.
They get
Hogan.
Shawn Michaels' return match. We didn't.
Right. They got Hogan coming back. They got Michaels. They got their...
I don't want to talk about the best in the World Cup. I don't want to talk about it.
What I'm going to say is it was a glorified house show. It was. But if you look at that roster and stuff, comparable to WrestleMania. Yeah. It is 100% comparable to WrestleMania. And not only that, but they got shit that we don't get at WrestleMania. Like you said, we didn't get Shawn Michaels coming back. We didn't get Hulk Hogan coming back. They got it because they threw enough money out. And politically, that is some bullshit right there.
It is because that's... Maybe it is. I don't know how important wrestling is to Saudi Arabia. I just don't know. If we have somebody that listens from Saudi Arabia...
Oh, we don't after all these weeks.
Yeah. Thanks, Derek.
Hey, we don't blame all of you, by the way.
No.
Just the same way you can't blame all of us for certain people in power's actions.
Yeah. That would be a huge mistake.
That would be a huge mistake.
You're welcome, Allie. We gotta chuckle out of her on that.
You referred to Allie as a hooker earlier on the pre-show.
Did I?
You did. You referred to her as a hooker. A bigger hooker is WWE.
They're going where the money is. I don't blame them for that in wrestling, but it's one of those that I don't like that they got that magnitude of a match. The best in the World Cup was benign. The ending was kind of weird.
And that's the only thing people will remember.
Yeah, it was the ending being weird. They made it memorable at least. But, that was a WrestleMania match, not a Crown Jewel match. Right. And it was a Crown Jewel match because they paid for it. I will say, the one thing, in the PZ85 group chat, the one thing I said is I'm not a fan of WWE, but I am very pro those wrestlers that got paid.
Yeah. And what this tells me is that if we really want to change the direction of WWE,
we have to throw way more money.
We need to get super rich really quick, and then we can just pay them and go hey, we want Zack Ryder to be champion. Well, that's insane. We'll do that. Here's $100 billion. All right, you're a new champion.
Effing woo.
Woo, woo, woo.
We want you to start saying the F word on TV.
We want Hogan to come out dressed as an old plantation owner.
No,
and we want him to come out.
No, I'm stopping it here.
We don't want this.
And Hogan's down with
Stop it.
It's for the record.
Of course he is,
brother.
But yeah, no. It was It was fairly
Also,
benign.
Lesnar won the title.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, good
I
for
don't
him.
want to talk about it.
Crown Jewel is a black eye on wrestling. Let's talk about Evolution. Actually,
Yeah.
let's go over Raw and SmackDown. Then we'll save Evolution for last.
Sweet.
Well, and the Jericho Cruise. I know very little about it other than what Noelle Foley showed on her Instagram.
What was that? Was there any good matches?
It was her in different outfits mostly,
Oh, any of the matches?
but I'm sure there was wrestling there too.
No, did any of the outfits match? That's what I'm asking.
She dressed up as Asuka.
Oh, that's cool.
That was pretty hot. That was a hot take on the outfit, is what I meant.
Oh, my bad.
All right,
I did see the Elite dressed up as the Mario family.
I didn't see that. I need to see
All right,
that.
I'll pull a picture up and slide you my phone in a minute.
Maybe
But
we'll save the Jericho Cruise for next week when Ace is back. Maybe he knows more than we do.
because in fairness, I just don't know a lot about it, a whole lot.
Oh, you don't know about it? Oh, you didn't hear about it, Dalton? Mr. Indie Wrestling? That's what you do to me. That's what you do to me. We're moving past it now.
Oh, you.
Let's talk about Raw. Start off. We got new tag team champions. The Authors of Pain demolished the single tag champion Seth Rollins.
Yeah, they wasted that.
And I guess they're really going full force into this Dean Ambrose Seth Rollins feud. I thought there was going to be a little bit more sizzle to that steak. I thought they were going to like build it up as a like mystery, but no, they just go full out going heel versus face, and I don't like that. I think there's more to do with the Shield than that. But whatever. I don't run the show until I get paid. Then I'll slip them some money. You think if I paid them enough at a lower level, I could get lower level stuff? Like, I obviously can't afford to make Zack Ryder champion, but if I give them enough money,
But
can
he
he
can
at
beat
least
Kurt
be in the
Hawkins.
background on a Raw? You know,
He was this week.
I know. Well, where do you think my paycheck went?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah. So, Authors of Pain are your new tag team champions. Apparently, they're just the AOP now. Dalton is sliding his phone over to me so I can see the Marios.
Nick Jackson is Luigi, which has been a running bit on being the Elite.
I don't like that Kenny Omega's Toad.
I love
I
it.
don't like that Kenny Omega is
Do you
Toad.
like Princess Daisy?
Yeah. Who's Princess Peach?
I believe Matt's wife.
Doesn't matter. Boy, that's a mistake. Walking up next to Brandy Rhodes, dressed as anything.
Dress is probably the safe way.
Yeah.
It's pretty fantastic.
I'm a princess. You sure are.
Mhm.
Now move out of the way.
I want Cody.
I need a shot of brandy.
I need a shot at Cody. What?
You snort Cody. You get a shot of brandy and
You snort.
you snort Cody.
God damn.
We're also now building towards the Survivor Series. And on Raw,
Marty Scurll was Wario. Jesus. I just now caught that.
Survivor Series. We're starting to build toward it. And it looks like it's brand versus brand.
Again, because of course it is.
Yeah. And on Raw, we got the team captain, which
Baron.
is Baron Corbin. Good for him. And we got, how many of the first members of the team? It's Strowman, Ziggler, and McIntyre? Ziggler?
I think so. Give me a second. I'm pulling it up right now because I don't have the teams. I know the SmackDown team is super underwhelming, minus one person.
Oh, yeah. The SmackDown team is pretty bad so far. One really important thing that happened on Raw, and we don't have a lot to talk about from Raw, honestly, because...
Okay, here's the teams. Team Raw is Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, and to be announced. With Baron Corbin as team captain, we don't know if that means he's going to be wrestling or if he's going to be on the outside because they have done that before.
Right.
It's super important to note that Ziggler and McIntyre aren't a big fan of Braun Strowman right now, but they're on a team.
Well, yeah. Because, Dalton, when it comes to red versus blue, that's way more important.
God, I feel like Asa right now.
Let the Asa flow through you.
Yeah. The SmackDown team is The Miz, Daniel Bryan, their co-captains, Shane McMahon, Rey Mysterio, and Samoa Joe.
Oh, we'll get to that in a second. First on Raw, the important thing that happened at the end of the show, Kurt Angle wrestled a singles match against Drew McIntyre.
It was really good.
And Kurt didn't make the team. Drew made the team instead.
Tapped him out with the ankle lock.
Which is really, man.
That just means Drew's going to get all that
He
glorious
that,
push.
That
hopefully.
warmth. What happens to Kurt Angle at this point, though?
He is going to be hopefully relegated to feuding with people that need it. That's what I hope, at least.
You don't think he'll end up on the team anyway? Who do you think is going to end up on Raw?
If it's still to be announced,
Bobby Lashley?
Lashley. It'll be Lashley, Balor, or Angle.
Yeah, I agree with that. Same old. Maybe Raw.
I
No,
mean,
it can't
no,
be
I would
Rollins
be-
because he's going to be wrestling Dean Ambrose more
I'm
than
about to
likely.
say, yeah, no, I think...
Ooh, unless it's Ambrose and Rollins.
No, it's Nakamura versus Rollins. They're doing champion versus champion.
Oh, that's right. They are doing that.
Unless
Okay.
they switch the belts again, because I think they did that last year too.
So that's your
right now.
Raw team.
Wikipedia has Rousey Lynch, Rollins, Nakamura, Lesnar, Styles, Team Raw, NXT, SmackDown, Women's Tag, and it looks like right now Buddy Murphy versus Mustafa Ali, which that will be the match of the night probably.
It'd be sick, bro.
God, Mustafa Ali is the person that I'm just like, I love you. Don't hurt yourself.
Because
that's all he does.
We know a lot of people like that, to be fair. Then the SmackDown team is, as Dalton said, co-captains Daniel Bryan and The Miz. And who did they pick as their first guy?
Shane McMahon.
Of every motherfucker on the roster.
Didn't he almost die in a Survivor Series 2 years ago?
Yeah. When
By
Roman
Reigns. Yeah, speared him out of nowhere.
But this is the part that infuriates me. So Shane McMahon won the World Cup.
Yeah.
Okay, it was kind of a gimmicky thing, whatever. And now, Miz and Bryan, your first pick of your entire roster of who's going to be on your team at Survivor Series is Shane McMahon?
Not Rusev.
Not Rusev. Not, God, you have a whole list of people. Not anyone from the New Day, which I know they're in the tag match. Not even Samoa Joe.
Yeah, he had to win.
He had to
Not
win.
Hardy.
Not Rey Mysterio. You pick Shane McMahon.
Well, he's the best in the world.
That is so infuriating. Like, it's 2018. Are we still putting over goddamn McMahons?
Yeah.
Come on,
Shane's
man.
still willing to fall off of stuff.
And it's not that Shane's bad.
No, Shane's a very good wrestler.
He's incredibly talented, but like, how many times are we going to give up a spot that could go to a full-time wrestler to help push them, to push Shane McMahon again? He doesn't need it. There is nothing that's going to come from Shane McMahon in this. It is absolutely infuriating.
Well,
I can't believe it.
He's turning heel too, so
I assumed, but like, okay, turn someone else heel. What's Aiden English doing? Oh, you're going to say, well, he's not high enough to be in that match. Exactly. There are so many people they could be doing more with that they don't. You've got The Undertaker on SmackDown.
yeah. Well, it's the whole thing. That
You don't pick The Undertaker?
It's the thing that CM Punk talked about in that podcast that we always mention. Of CM Punk even said, he was like, you only get better facing people that are better than you. So if you keep young talent away from a big match like this, like it would be, I mean, the good thing is Team Raw is getting, like, McIntyre's going to get a little bit of work
Yeah.
being against Bryan, Miz, and Mysterio and Joe.
And I would be less offended if they had put Kurt Angle in the match than putting Shane McMahon in the match. You know?
Well, yeah. Well, that's just the whole thing of it. That's why I also think it's going to be Angle is going to be the fifth member if it's not Corbin. Just because Angle is still the acting general manager. He's just on vacation.
It's bad. It's stupid. That is probably, of all the things that have happened in the past few weeks in wrestling, that's probably the thing that upset me the most, was Shane McMahon being the first pick for your Survivor Series team. What a load of horse shit.
The person I carpool with that's a casual fan, she was also really pissed off by that.
It's
because she said, she's like, why would you pick him over Samoa Joe? And I was like, yeah, no, that's pretty dumb.
Or John Cena, maybe. I don't know. Anybody.
Depending on whatever's brand
Literally
he's on.
anybody. And who else was on the team? It's Samoa Joe, who should be on the team.
Joe, Mysterio, McMahon, Bryan, Miz, which is a pretty good
Is that the
team.
full team?
Yeah.
So we have the full team for them.
4, 5. Yeah, and we're missing one on Raw. And that's not assuming that it's not going to be Corbin.
Right.
If it's Corbin, then I'm going to have to go with Team SmackDown.
I love Joe. That's a great pick. And Rey Mysterio is great. I don't know, man. This Survivor Series used to be my favorite pay-per-view. And it hasn't been for so long.
You know what I hope happens?
And that was back when it was terrible, too. Like when you had the little people. Like Jerry Lawler's little people.
Clan of little people.
Yeah, and that was so stupid. But I was so excited for Survivor Series. It's not there anymore. Not there anymore.
Yeah, the one thing that I hope happens is they don't do the brand invasions. I hope it's literally 4 weeks of the teams imploding on themselves.
Oh, you hope
that's why they can't do an invasion, because they literally cannot get on the same page.
You hope it's not like last year where people that were feuding with each other went through the locker room. Bailey was beating people up.
Yeah, I hope it is they cannot get along enough to, like, they show up to do an invasion and they start beating the shit out of each other.
They just start fighting each other. That would be pretty
Because
funny.
it's one of those just like, all right, well, that's different at least.
So I saw a clip today someone posted of, remember the time that Booker T and Stone Cold fought in the supermarket?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh man, that was great. That was classic. And I was like, yeah, it was great for everyone but Booker T. Because Booker T got his ass handed to him for 4 minutes straight in a supermarket.
And then Booker T, like 2 years later, had to say that people like you don't become champions, and then had to sell the pedigree for like a minute.
Yeah. Booker T had a great. You know,
I
what?
mean, after
I take back
King
everything I
Booker,
said. Yeah.
King Booker, he was on top of the world.
I take back what I said about Booker T annoying me. He deserves it. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, no, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I just don't like him as a commentator.
Whack it, Dacky, shuck it, duck.
He actually he does reality of wrestling in Texas. That's actually where like
You're going to train?
no,
Oh.
the Usos trained from.
Yeah.
He did a poll of like, think I should keep on the suit or do one more match? Because him and Harlem Heat had a match in there like 4 years ago. Stevie Ray came out of retirement to have a match at Reality of Wrestling.
I always like Stevie Ray too.
Yeah, they were a great tag team.
They were. Harlem Heat's one of my absolute favorites. Also on SmackDown, really quick, Nikki Cross did make her debut. I think it's full time now. She actually came out with Sanity too, didn't she?
It was, but it was in England. So it very much could have been the whole Pete Dunne thing where Pete Dunne came out, beat the shit out of Enzo, and then hasn't been on Raw since. That was a year ago today.
Was it really?
Yep, because I only know that because I follow him on Instagram.
Enzo?
Yeah, both actually.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Enzo announced his first performance since he left WWE, but it's not wrestling, it's music and comedy.
Oh, well, I wish he was good at either.
And let's talk about...
The dude put consensual penis in a song, not once, but like 4 times.
He talked about consensual penis. Now, Allie, as a woman, as a feminist, isn't consensual penis something that we strive for as a male society?
He's saying that that he has consented, which is great. But there are 2 people in this situation.
Unless you just ride Noel Han there. Just going solo.
What's the most
Oh, I got an eye roll.
what's the most important thing for a guy to do during foreplay? Get consent.
No.
What's that?
It's super important that we are quoting Creepy Text Theater right now.
It's so good if you've never seen Creepy Text Theater.
gosh.
It's a holiday classic. All right, let's talk about Evolution. Evolution was a couple weeks ago. We didn't get to talk about it last week because we were out for Halloween. And I wish Asa was here to talk about it to give it the respect that Dalton and I can't because we are terrible at this.
I loved Evolution.
Yeah, but we're also dicks. Like we've been,
I'm not going to be a dick right
you've been
now.
a pretty big
You
dick
actually
tonight.
watched it?
Yeah, I watched it on the way home from Indiana.
Because I was the only one that watched it here.
Oh, well, then it sounds like we're going to talk about Evolution.
Okay.
Shannon, STFU, the
right.
feminists are talking.
Night, guys.
All right, what do you want to talk about?
Oh my goodness. I think Ember Moon should have won.
Yeah, that was one that I think that Royal
You want to
Rumble-
go in order of the matches and talk
I
about
don't know what happened.
All
in
right,
order.
cool.
I
So
don't
the
remember
tag
the order.
the
I've
tag
got the
team-
order here.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so Rhea Ripley defeated Dakota Kai for the NXT UK Women's Championship.
Which makes sense because I think Ripley's going to be a bigger part of the UK show.
I like
Did
Dakota
we-
Kai though.
Did we see that one?
No, I think that was we
were
missed that.
late
Yeah,
Turning it
we
on.
because we turned it. We were wrong about the time. Who was it that told us the wrong time? I think it was Asa.
It wasn't me this time.
Yeah, I think it was Asa. Asa
Which is funny because somebody gave me a whole bunch of shit for messing up All In.
was it Asa?
Yeah.
Because when we turned it on, it was Trish Stratus and Lita versus Mickie James and Alicia Fox.
And see, I missed that match.
No,
live.
I did watch that match, and it was okay. It was okay. If they're really going to bring out this women's tag team championship like they said they are, and rumors are that Trish Stratus and Lita, this is not their only time together, that they're going to be on TV more, I think that's definitely building toward the same thing. And I would love to see Trish and Lita as the first Raw women's tag team champions.
No.
You don't think Trish and Lita? Name another. Okay, I can literally. Well, all right.
Sasha
and Bailey, and then the Riot
Yeah.
Squad.
or Tamina and Nia.
You think that's what they're maybe building up with them?
Maybe.
Maybe Tamina and Nia versus Trish and Lita for the championship?
God, I hope.
Because I think Trish and Lita will definitely be involved in the championship.
I
They
don't
might not
think
win
they-
it.
I don't think they should be, but yeah.
Put them over, buddy. Put them the rub.
Yeah, the 2 Hall of Famers need it. Which, don't get me wrong, super happy I can say in the year of our Lord 2018 that Lita and Trish are both WWE Hall of Famers. But
and still really good.
yeah,
It's
like,
also the same year that Shane McMahon won the World Cup and was the first pick of the Survivor Series team.
yeah, I can't believe they
Shane
signed that.
McMahon is like that kid whose dad is the coach for soccer, and for some reason
He just really likes being goalie.
yeah, he's always the first pick. He's always starting, even though he's not really good at it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, except
like little redneck Sammy over there that's actually good at it can't play because
you pointed directly at Allie, and she looked up at you for a second like, what? Redneck Sammy?
I pointed that way. My finger's weird. Don't look at me like that.
Trish and Lita did defeat Mickie James and Alicia Fox, by the way.
Yeah.
And it was okay. It was okay. I was happy to see Trish again.
Everything past that match was really, really solid in my opinion.
Nia Jax, well, except this. Nia Jax won the Rumble by eliminating Ember Moon. It should have absolutely been Ember Moon. Allie's right. Ember Moon
It
is,
should have, yeah.
like, again, I'm over Nia Jax at this point. She's Dolph Ziggler to me. I'm over it. I don't think they can redeem her in my eyes. Not that they have to, but I'm over her. Now, Ember Moon, on the other hand, is incredible. Love Ember Moon so much. Also, Ivory in that match was awesome. Ivory was showing some fire.
She was also like the last.
She was the last 4, wasn't she?
Well, like last. I don't
Classic.
Class. There you go. That's the word I wanted.
She was the last OG in the match.
Yeah.
Because, and I mentioned that too. I said, oh, they got all of the the old schoolers out to make room for the new people. But now he's like, no, Ivory's still in there.
Ivory was on Glow.
She was. She was. What was she? What was her name?
I don't know.
Go ahead,
Tina
Dalton.
Ferrari.
Tina Ferrari. Yeah.
And just watch the documentary.
Yeah.
And the show.
So
Well, she's not on the Netflix.
that tells you how long she's been wrestling, too.
Right.
Because she was like brand new when she started Glow.
I think she's in her 40s or 50s. She's
I'm on it.
still really, really good.
She was the Women Hall of Famer this year.
Medusa was in the. I'm sorry, Alundra Blaze also looked really good. Everybody looked really good in the match. It was a fun battle royal, but man, Nia Jax winning left a bad taste in my mouth. And then her cutting that very face promo only to turn heel the next week. What a waste. Much better was Toni Storm versus Io Shirai. That was a great match.
Yeah.
I watched that too.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
was so good.
You think that was match of the night?
No.
You don't think that was match of the night?
There's a very obvious match of the night winner.
I thought it was.
Ivory is 56,
Wow. And she was kicking ass like a kid in there.
older than Shawn Michaels.
Better hair.
That's
Actual
true.
hair. I knew Io Shirai wasn't going to win because, and I didn't mean to be racist about it, but they're not going to let 2 Japanese women win 2 years in a row. They're just not. Ask Gail Kim. I'm sure she has an opinion about it.
She's not Japanese, bud.
Oh, I know, but just of racism in WWE.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't a Gail Kim's Japanese joke. Don't worry.
Well, I mean, you said they're not going to let 2 Japanese women win in a row. Gail Kim.
Well, because Gail Kim, you heard about this, right?
They thought she was Japanese. Well, no.
No, so it was after, I think it was after Evolution, or it was after Crown Jewel or something. Someone posted something about racism in WWE, and Gail Kim basically said Vince McMahon is a racist. And then someone else replied to her and said, oh, that's why he hired you twice. That's why, et cetera, happened. And now Gail Kim had to put out this big message saying not everybody in WWE is racist. There were specific people, but it was a blanket statement. I apologize. So she made a big deal about it. That's my reference. Not saying Gail Kim was Japanese.
Okay, gotcha.
I just wanted to, because Gail Kim's one of my favorite wrestlers ever.
I know, and I was like, man, that's pretty bold not knowing your favorite wrestlers.
Ethnicity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to point that out.
All right. Besides that, Shannon the racist, what else was on the card? Help me
Toni
out.
Storm is one of my favorites as well.
She's really good.
Yeah. I hope. I love her.
Me and Ace legitimately got like super excited in the car
Because of Toni Storm?
Yeah, so Billy had his phone up in the windshield.
He wasn't watching it, though. He was driving.
No, he was driving.
Yeah, he never looked at it.
Yeah, and did not look at it.
Important
once.
to know.
We were telling him everything that was happening.
Yes.
And then it was me, Garrett, and Ace in the back. Or I was in the front seat, Garrett and Ace were in the back. Like, we were all 3 watching it. Billy was driving
Yes.
the whole time.
Great match.
Yeah.
Absolutely great match. Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Natalya defeated the Riot Squad, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan. I didn't get to see much of that match because at that point we were playing Call of Duty with Justin the Juice Smart.
Oh, he was here?
Who's not great at it. He's not terrible.
Except
Well,
for
we
whenever
found
he
something
gets
he's
a
not good at.
4-wheeler.
He got a 4-wheeler. He got an ATV, and then
of course he was good then.
So we're playing blackout mode, and it's me, him, Asa, and I think it was
Jeffy?
Jesse was refused, and Mandy. No,
Well, I don't know if Mandy was she was
'cause-
here.
Yeah,
but I don't know
Mandy
if
and
she was
Jesse were playing.
Regular.
We're playing regular.
Someone else was here.
Who the hell was the other person?
Wasn't me.
Who was the 4th man?
Was it Mabel?
No, okay, it was just us 3 because we were all lined up here, and there were only 5 of us.
There wasn't someone on the other side.
I don't think so. But
Okay.
we were playing blackout mode, and we both died, me and Asa. So now we're waiting for Justin. But then Justin found a freaking ATV. So he starts driving 4-wheeler. He starts driving the 4-wheeler around, not killing anybody, just driving around. He drove for like 10 minutes. We're waiting for him to die. And he's like, bet y'all annoyed by me. I'm like, no, you're fine, man. You're good.
Just want to play the game.
Back in the bag. Back in the bag.
Oh, now I have to text him and tell him he has to listen to the show this week.
Just the end. Liv Morgan is my absolute favorite thing in wrestling right now. So I want to see more of her. Shayna Baszler defeated Kairi Sane for the title. I wasn't a fan of that because I'm a big Kairi Sane fan. I know Baszler's good, but especially now, she feels like a low rent Ronda Rousey, which is not doing her any favors because she's better than that.
And she's been doing it longer.
Right. But Ronda Rousey eclipses her so much with the attention they've given her. But maybe Kairi Sane's going to get pulled up to the main roster. I hope not. They didn't do a great job with Asuka, and I really fear for my Pirate Princess. But the match was
She
good.
is a dandy pirate.
Becky Lynch defeated Charlotte Flair. This is the match of the night.
Woo! Yeah.
I realized it after I said it.
Yeah.
It was brutal. It was pretty brutal.
Not a single fuck was given in that match.
Yeah, Becky Lynch is so good as Femme Steve Austin. It's like Mass Effect. If you change your main character from male to female, that's Becky
And then
Lynch.
changed her voice to Irish for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, Irish Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Give me a beer. Nope, that's not an Irish accent at all.
Do that again.
Give me a beer.
Why do you sound
Why is that like-
Why do you sound like a deaf mute gangster from the 20s?
Give me a beer. You okay?
It just,
Give me a bass,
Give me
eh?
a beer. Back in the back.
Oh
Goodness.
God.
Dieter. All right. All the hits.
oh,
Becky Lynch won. She kept her title. I was very happy about that.
yes.
Yeah, because I think putting the title back on Charlotte Flair would have been a mistake. And in the main event, Ronda Rousey defeated Nikki Bella because, of course, she did. It was actually, from what I understand, I didn't see this one either.
It was a
but
good
I
match.
heard it was a good match.
The only thing I wasn't a big fan of is the ending of it. Cole called it also why Michael Cole was there, I don't know. But did you see the end where like they were both on the top rope and Ronda Rousey like grabbed Nikki weird and they both fell kind of awkwardly?
No, I missed that.
He called it a small package from the top rope.
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of what it looked like. But I mean, luckily enough, she was able to like Rousey kept hold and then got her in like an armbar right after. But it looked really scary, especially when you're facing somebody that has a lot of like had prior neck injuries.
Right. Yeah. But I think, and I think a lot of people gave Nikki Bella some respect after the match for doing a good job.
I don't like Nikki Bella's style either time she wrestled. When she was first wrestling and then John Cena, like Diet John Cena, she's not a bad wrestler though. There's a very
it's her
distinct
style.
difference.
Yeah, you can have a style that someone doesn't like but still be good.
Yeah, no, she is
Yeah.
a fairly competent wrestler. Some would even say good.
You don't know how to finish that, do you?
Yeah, but it's one of those like
You don't know how to finish that without insulting her at this point.
Yeah, because like anything I'm about to say is going to be the butt
Better than Rousey as a wrestler?
as a wrestler.
now?
As an entertainer, yeah.
I mean,
She's not a bigger draw.
No. But I mean, like at competency at wrestling, is
Yeah.
she better? Okay. I'm just curious what you thought as someone that gets in the ring.
I mean, she's been doing it for how long?
A surprisingly long time.
Yeah, like she just knows more.
Yeah.
And
She's
it's-
soaked up more.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that she had to like go through the indies. I'm not saying the only way to learn wrestling is going through the indies, but like Bella's been doing that for a long time.
Well, you can just knock down John Cena's bedroom door and there you are.
Yeah, I see hate that. I
Me too.
hate that so much.
Evolution was a good pay-per-view and it was extremely important as a women's show. And
If you were not caught up in WWE and you want to watch a wrestling show and you were stuck between Crown Jewel and Evolution,
avoid the crown jewel like the plague.
go watch if you just absolutely need to see the tag match, DX versus Brothers of
I
Destruction.
hope you have 30 minutes and you've got like some pet
Ambien?
pills there. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you need to see that, go ahead and watch that match. Besides that, you're not missing a 5-star classic from really anybody. I think Mysterio and Orton had a really good match in the open.
Really, Crown Jewel is what you want to watch if you are in the mood for like a terrible B movie that you can just go, oh, this is ridiculous. That's Crown Jewel. Now, if you want to watch Schindler's List, you go to Evolution. Was that good?
Yeah, I think maybe.
Schindler's List was a fantastic movie.
I
Starred
know.
Liam
I've
Neeson.
seen Schindler's List, but I'm not putting the.
Oscar Schindler and I both made weapons for the Nazis. The only difference is mine worked. That's from The Simpsons.
Are you going to talk about Ace's side note?
What's the side note?
That Vince only watched Evolution?
It was run by the NXT crew.
yeah.
I thought that.
I mean, it felt like it too because the way the ring was set up, the way the lights were set up,
They used the
everything had
NXT
that
set,
NXT.
yeah.
And that's great because it made. At first, I was kind of down on it because I thought, man, it looks cheaper than other WWE pay-per-views. You know what I mean? Like it didn't have the,
But it looked different.
but it looked different. And the more I realized it, the more I thought about it, I thought, yeah, different's better. You need to set them apart and not make it look like just another.
You know the whole
pay-per-view.
thing. How do you make something look more like a sport?
Dress it down. Yeah.
You know what they didn't have? Those nice padded guardrails. They threw Sasha into the guardrail.
Yeah.
And that was a rail.
Yeah,
I
didn't like
have
that.
hit those before.
Yeah.
They're not fun.
Poor Sasha. She used to be my bae. But then Liv Morgan came along, and she's got that purple tongue.
And now she like New Bay.
She's
Mandy
New Bay.
came
New Year,
along
New Bay.
and was not going to let you have Sasha.
Who, Mandy Kennedy?
Yeah.
Oh, I smoked that little twig girl. Look at her little twig arms. All right, Evolution was cool. Go watch it. Otherwise, we're going to get out of here. We're going to be here tomorrow for what we're affectionately calling Nostalgia November. And actually, you guys don't know this, but at the beginning of the
Besides last week when it was not listening to the Jesse about the polls November.
Yeah, Jesse, one of our highest rated shows ever. Don't look into it. So at the beginning of the show, this week we played the NWO Wolfpack theme because that's what our original theme was on PW. Next week's going to be the Bullet Club. The week after that, we're bringing back Hunter's CCW intro, and then the last week we'll come back to normal. So it's cool. It's nostalgic.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. You guys have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow for Nostalgia November. We talk about fun things from our past. And, yeah, it's going to be fun. Patreon.com/Podzilla1985. If you want to support us with your wallet, we really appreciate it. As always, there are a couple of tiers there. The newest tier, you guys are excited about this. It's $500. If you guys donate $500 to the Patreon, Allie and Dalton will eat a caramel cod Lady in the Tramp style, where they both start at one end and they eat it, and then in the end they kiss.
I was cool until the kiss.
We're very excited about that.
When are we going to eat
$500.
hot dog pie?
That's
Never.
$1,000. Allie will eat an entire hot dog pie
Off a Dalton.
off of Dalton's ass.
Oh my God. I'm going.
$1,000.
Bye.
$1,000. Where are you going?
Leaving.
Oh, she's gone.
We need to get that Saudi Arabia money.
$1,000 hot dog pie off your ass, and that's with the gelatin and hot dog juice poured in. Oh my God! It's
You mean
fantastic.
liquid yum?
Liquid yum. It's so fantastic. Facebook.com/Podzilla1985. Interact with us. And of course, Podzilla1985.com if you want to listen to our old shows. You guys have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow for After Dark. Later.